Ethan Cole walked into the great hall with slow, steady steps. The sound of his boots echoed against the smooth crystal floor. The alien court was already watching him. Tall figures with glowing eyes stood in long rows, their armor shining like polished glass. In the center, on a raised throne, sat Princess Lyra Valen. She leaned forward slightly, studying him. Her expression quickly changed from curiosity to disappointment. This was the human they had sent. Ethan's armor looked old. It was thick and heavy, covered in scratches, dents, and dark burn marks. One shoulder plate did not even match the other. It looked like it had been repaired many times. Nothing about him looked advanced or impressive. Soft laughter spread across the hall. One of the generals, a tall figure named Varric Hale, crossed his arms. "This is the best humanity could send," he said quietly to the others. Ethan stopped a few steps away from the throne and bowed his head slightly. "I greet the princess," he said in a calm voice. Lyra stood up slowly. Her long silver cloak flowed behind her. "You greet me wearing that," she said, pointing at his armor. "This looks like something pulled from a battlefield centuries ago." More laughter followed. Ethan did not react. He simply looked at her and waited. "Where is your modern gear?" she asked. "Your energy shields, your polished weapons, your advanced suit?" "This is my armor," Ethan said. Lyra smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "Then humanity is far behind what we expected." The court agreed with her. Whispers spread quickly. The humans were not as strong as the stories claimed. Ethan remained still. His face showed no anger, no shame. "Why send someone like you?" Lyra asked. "Are you a soldier or a message?" "Both," Ethan replied. That answer made her pause for a moment. But she quickly hid it. "You will stay," she said. "As a guest. We will see what use you have." Ethan nodded once. As he stood there, quiet and unmoving, some of the court continued to laugh. But a few watched him more closely. There was something strange about him. Something that did not match the old armor he wore. Ethan was given a place inside the palace, but it was far from the center. It was a quiet room, simple and cold. He did not complain. He placed his small bag near the wall and stood still for a long time, thinking. Outside, the palace was alive with movement. Guards walked the halls, their armor glowing softly. Machines floated through the air, carrying messages and scanning everything. In another chamber, Princess Lyra sat with her generals. Varric Hale stood beside a large table filled with moving maps. "The human is nothing special," he said. "His armor is outdated. His presence means little." Narration, the chief strategist, nodded slowly. "He does not act like a weak man," she said. "He speaks very little. He watches everything." Lyra leaned back in her chair. "He is old," she said, "and his armor looks like it is ready to break." "Or it has survived many battles," Nara said quietly. Varric shook his head. "Modern war is not about survival like that. It is about speed and precision." Meanwhile, Ethan walked through a quiet corridor. 2 guards followed him at a distance. He looked at the walls, the doors, the patterns of movement. He noticed how often the guards changed position. He noticed where the lights dimmed slightly. He was learning. Later, he was called back to the main hall. Lyra stood waiting for him. "Tell me," she said, "what wars have you fought?" "Many," Ethan said. "And you survived all of them?" she asked. "Yes." "With that armor?" "Yes." The princess stepped closer. She reached out and tapped his chest plate lightly. The metal gave a dull, heavy sound. "It looks weak," she said. "It is not," Ethan replied. Their eyes met for a moment. Lyra felt something she did not expect. Not fear, but doubt. She stepped back and turned away. "We will see," she said. Ethan said nothing more. But in the silence, the room felt different. As if something unseen was slowly changing. The attack came without warning. A loud explosion shook the palace walls. The lights flickered, then turned red. Alarms began to sound across every level. Guards rushed through the halls. Voices shouted orders. Confusion spread quickly. In the command chamber, Varric stared at the map. "Unknown ships," he said. "They appeared too close. Our outer defenses did not stop them." Nera moved quickly. "They are using irregular patterns," she said. "Our systems cannot predict them." Another explosion hit. Princess Lyra stood still, trying to stay calm. "Send all units," she ordered. "Hold the inner gates." But reports came in fast. "Defense Line 1 has fallen. We are losing control of the East Wing. Enemy units are inside the palace." Panic began to rise. In a quiet corridor, Ethan heard the alarms. He closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them. He walked forward. A group of guards rushed past him. They were tense, their movements rushed and uncertain. Ethan reached the main hall just as another blast shook the floor. Lyra turned and saw him. "You should stay back," she said. "This is not your fight." Ethan looked at the chaos around them. "It is now," he said. Varric stepped forward. "We do not need help from outdated soldiers." Another explosion cut him off. Part of the wall cracked, and smoke filled the air. Lyra looked at Ethan again. This time, her voice was different. "Can you fight?" "Yes." She hesitated for only a second. "Then do it." Ethan nodded once. He reached to his armor. Small sections shifted slightly. A low hum began to rise. The worn plates locked into place. Faint lines of light appeared across the surface. The armor was waking up. The laughter from before was gone. Now, the room was silent. Everyone was watching him. And for the first time, they were not smiling. Ethan moved into the corridor without hesitation. The sound of distant fighting grew louder with each step. Smoke filled the air, and sparks fell from damaged panels above. Enemy soldiers rushed forward. Their weapons glowed with bright energy. They fired without pause. The blasts hit Ethan directly. But he did not fall. The energy spread across his armor and faded. The surface glowed for a moment, then returned to normal. The old marks on his armor did not break. They held. Ethan kept walking. Then he moved faster. His actions were simple and direct. He used short bursts of motion, striking at the right moment. He guided nearby guards with clear signals, helping them hold their positions. "Stay behind me," he told them. They listened. Varric watched from a distance, unable to speak. "How is he still standing?" he said. Nera answered quietly, "That armor, it has endured more than ours ever has." Another wave of enemies came. Ethan stepped forward again. He took the hits, then pushed through them. Each movement showed control, not force. Each step was planned. Slowly, the defense line stabilized. The guards began to fight with more confidence. They followed Ethan's lead. Their fear started to fade. In the command chamber, Lyra watched everything. Her expression had changed. She was no longer mocking. She was learning. The human she had laughed at was now holding her palace together. The armor she had called weak was now the strongest thing she had ever seen. As the battle continued, the enemy began to fall back. Their attack was failing. And at the center of it all stood Ethan. Calm. Steady. Unbroken. The battle ended as suddenly as it had begun. The remaining enemy ships retreated into space. Inside the palace, the alarms slowly faded. The red lights returned to normal. The halls were quiet again, but the damage was clear. Guards moved carefully, helping the injured and repairing systems. In the main hall, Ethan stood still. His armor was marked again, but it had not failed. Princess Lyra walked toward him. This time, there was no laughter in the room. Only silence. She stopped in front of him. "What is that armor?" she asked. Ethan looked down at it for a moment. "It is old," he said, "but it has been rebuilt many times." "It stopped weapons that break our defenses," Varric said. His voice was no longer proud. "It learned to survive," Ethan replied. Nera stepped closer. "It adapts," she said softly. Ethan nodded. "Every mark you see is from something that tried to destroy it." Lyra looked at the armor again. This time, she did not see weakness. She saw history. She saw survival. "We judged you too quickly," she said. "Yes," Ethan answered, without anger. She took a slow breath. "Human strength is not what we thought." "No," he said. There was a long pause. Then Lyra spoke again. "We want an alliance," she said. "Not based on power we see, but power we understand." Ethan considered her words. Then he nodded once. "That is acceptable." Varric lowered his head slightly. Nera said nothing, but her eyes showed respect. The court had changed. The human they had mocked had saved them. And the armor they had laughed at had become something else. Not old, not weak, but proof that humanity did not break. It endured.